can you stay under the radar with the IRS forever until you die? Well, the answer is yes. Theoretically, you can. But folks, it's getting harder and harder every year. I think a lot of folks who got away with staying under the radar, so to speak, in the last decade, they're not going to be able to stay under the radar in this decade. A couple reasons for that. First thing is obviously the big funding that the IRS received. I know it kind of got notched down a bit, but they're still getting a heck of a lot of money for the Inflation Reduction Act. Okay. Heck of a lot of money the IRS is getting. I mean, they were underfunded for years. And that's how so many people were under the radar, not getting caught, not reporting income, not filing tax returns, right? In fact, it got so bad in the last decade, the 2010s, for a period of about 4 years, I believe, from 2015 to 2019, the IRS basically shut down its ASFR program. That's a program that prepares tax returns for folks who don't file their own tax returns, right? Which is a big way the IRS catches up with folks who are trying to be off the radar. But now they got that going back up again. Okay, and we're seeing the IRS go after a lot of non-filers. I think right now, man, we're getting so many non-filers calling in, people who haven't filed, right? IRS has prepared SFRs for them. It's just getting kind of nasty out there. I mean, just to be quite honest. Third thing I want to say is, I've seen it happen where someone thought they were off. They thought they were off the radar. Okay. But they were actually on the IRS's radar, and the IRS had filed SFRs against them, made huge assessments of tax against them. But they didn't receive any of those notices because they had changed their address. And it had been so long ago since they filed a tax return, all the notices in the mail the IRS was sending them was going to an old address. Okay? Just because you have a new address on your driver's license, folks, doesn't mean the IRS has that new address. Now, unless you file a tax return showing your new address or file a change of address form with the IRS is going to send it to your last known address. Yes, there are protocols in there for how they can, they should, maybe do a little more due diligence there. But for the vast majority of people the IRS sends notices to, it's going to the address on your last filed return. That is just the honest truth. But then what happens? Oh, they go to sell that property. And holy cow. Boy, oh boy, is there a mighty large lien on them, filed in state and or county records. And, they're not going to be able to cash out that property and retire like they thought they would, because the IRS is going to get theirs before the taxpayers get theirs, right? Or even if you're not in that situation, you're planning, I'm going to stay in my house until I die. I'm not planning to sell or refi. What do I care? Think about your heirs, okay? Because if you have all this undealt with tax business, right, and you plan to leave anything to your children or your other heirs, guess what? The IRS can go after your estate for what you owe, okay? And sometimes they've been known, if the estate has made distributions to heirs, to claw back those amounts paid to the heirs to settle the estate's tax debt for the decedent's tax debt while they were alive. Okay, so, death and taxes, right? So, well, yes, it is theoretically possible to completely stay off the IRS's grid. In the majority of cases, the IRS does catch up to folks eventually. Okay, it doesn't happen like this. If you don't file your return this year, it's probably, the IRS will send you a notice. Hey, you didn't file, right? But it will realistically probably be like years before it actually files a substitute return for you, and then like another year before it assesses the tax, like another almost a year before it takes forced collection activity. Don't mistake the IRS's lack of funding in the last decade as well as how long they take to actually do things. And some of that has to do with legal reasons, but don't mistake that for being off the radar with the IRS. Okay. If you think you're under the radar with the IRS, you're probably not as under the radar as you think you are, and you or maybe your heirs, right? They might be in for a rough surprise at some point. Okay, but some people do stay off the grid forever. But So this is just kind of shooting from the hip here, speaking from my own experience. Who am I? My name is Logan Alec. I'm a CPA. I own Choice Tax Relief. If you'd like to book a free tax consultation, give us a call, 866-8000-TAX, or you can fill out the form at our website, choicetaxrelief.com, and someone will reach out to you. I have some other tax relief videos here on the left-hand side of the screen for your entertainment and education, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.